Let's focus on spots of time. Your fourth V17 or 9A repeat, and obviously an Aiden Roberts route. Actually, maybe I'll just play the video here and have you walk me through the moves, if that's all right. It's not going to take us long. There's 4 moves on this whole thing.
Yeah, you start quite a good right hand hold actually. It's a slightly sloped but quite big flat edge, which isn't too bad. And then the left hand, you kind of have this rail which is just appalling, and Aiden crimped on the top of it, which is like super impressive. I like the he did a very much. We climbed it in our styles basically. He climbed it in a more front on way, I think, and I climbed it in a slightly more like heel hooky way maybe, but like perfectly
You both
within our.
throw that the first like right heel that you put up. He did that as well, didn't he not?
No, he did the move like that originally. That's how he was trying it. But when he sent it, he has just a right toe down and like a very
Ah,
bad left toe hook, like just smeared against the wall. And his left hand, instead of being on that sort of side pinch, which is honestly like appalling, the thumb's the best, but he's on top of it. Like so, I'm
got it.
holding it like this. He's like this, and he's like more of a
Right.
front on. Just like pure power move, whereas for me, I felt like the heel taking weight out was like absolutely crucial. Um,
And what's your left foot on there at the start?
The left foot's okay. It's like a little edge at the bottom. It's not too bad.
Got it.
The right
So
heel
you
is terrible though.
so the right heel's terrible. You're just kind of creating some compression so that you can then bump this right hand up.
Yeah, exactly. And the right hand that you go to again isn't a terrible hold. It's maybe like a 15 mil, like sort of low friction, slightly in cut edge.
Mm.
So the right.
That's a jug for you, dude.
Yeah, it's because it's so steep, and what makes it really hard is you don't have like a good foot out right that you can push off. So you have like
Mm.
these two okay left holds, right holds, sorry, the starting one, the one you bump to, but the left hand, all the left hand holds are just terrible. So the
Mm.
compression is what makes it really hard. Because if you take the left hand on off, you just barn door straight off. Like there's no way of staying on, and the feet don't really let you push across into the hand. So you're actually pulled very far over on your right hand, and it's trying to like pull as hard as you can on the really bad left, and then getting this weird drop knee, this sort of vague drop knee to then kick out of it. And
And the
only
left
once
hand
you,
right now, the left hand that you were starting on,
yeah.
it's interesting in the video that actually looks like a pretty decent, like a pretty big rail there. But you're saying that's garbage. Is that slopey or just what's the texture like?
So the top of it where the thumb is kind of flat and has quite good friction. The left side is like for your um, pinky and ring finger get this sort of real sloped, terrible, I don't know, 8 mil sort of part of the hold, and then your index and middle finger get a bit of an edge, but again it's like I don't know 6 8 mils, like it's really small and really bad hold.
Yeah.
Um, Especially like for instance if conditions were bad, like I remember being there on a humid day, it was actually really hard just to pull on the wall in that position, like with the second hand hold, because the left just felt like it was doing nothing. So the left hand's actually terrible. I annoyingly didn't get a close up film. I forgot to do that of the left hand on that to show the hold exactly. I think the one that I've got in this only shows the hold, so it's a bit hard to maybe gauge the depth. But
Right.
yeah, so the start is this sort. You're in really, to be honest, the whole boulder is a lot of compression, which is kind of
Yeah.
surprising because it looks more like you just grab crimps and you can like sort of just rely on your crimp strength, but it's not the case. So yeah, when you do this second move, or the way that I did the second move, where you go straight up to this left hand hold, it's it's not the worst edge, but it is pretty bad, this next hold. But as soon as you hear it, it feels like you actually have, if you manage to stay on, it feels like you've got like a bit of easier compression where the holds are facing the right way. You've got a decent left foot under you. And then the third move from here is like the easiest of all the moves. That's like when you stick the second move, it feels like you've got a moment to sort of breathe almost and kind of reset. Whereas yeah, the first move and the last move, to be honest, the
Yeah, that
third and last move at the same time, you're like fully involved in max compression.
All right, y'all. Quick shout out for today's sponsor, which is Rungni Magnus Mitbos Company. And man, they got my favorite product back in stock, Mag Juice. I didn't come up with the name of it, but I love it anyway. Mag Juice is liquid chalk. And in these hot months, you guys, I need all the extra help I can get to keep my hands dry. Mag Juice is going to keep your hands chalky and dry for much longer than just using regular loose chalk. That means you can chalk up less often, which means you can hang on to the wall a little bit longer. That's been my experience with it. I think you're going to love it too. Man, I love the whole line of chalk there. I love their chalk ball. I love their loose chalk. And man, do I love that juicy, juicy Mag Juice. You guys can score 15% off some Mag Juice, as well as everything else over at Rungny. I love their apparel. I love everything by using code STRUGGLE at that link right there. So getting this move here, that's a big move. I mean, your left hand was way low, and then you kind of throw like this left drop knee and get up and just have to dead point this left, which you get in a 3-finger drag there. I mean, I saw you drop that move many times as you were working it, and Aiden as well. It's not like it's some bomber thing. What is it that, what makes that move successful? Like, what do you need to do here to hit that dead point?
Yeah, so it's two ways. I mean, the way Aiden climbed it was quite differently. He is way more involved in the drop knee, and he comes to this absolutely appalling left hand intermediate, and then bumps off that to the crimp. So he has like two smaller moves, but they're both really, really hard. It just makes it a bit more static, because the left hand that you're going to is a really, you can squeeze 4 fingers on it, but you have to hit it really well to be able to fit that. I did it in the end, like on this attempt, I hit it free, as you see in the video, and then I like bring them into the full crimp, and the pinky like wraps behind. I was really surprised it was enough to actually get through, but ideally you want 4, which is why Aiden's beta works a bit was like a bit nicer for that, because you're a bit more controlled. The edge is quite sharp, so it does, at least, unlike the right hand edge holds, you get like a bit of friction on it, which kind of can stop the dead point a bit. But yeah, the key was really having your body in the right place. You have to like use the feet in the right way and be strong enough on the right hand that like you're super pulled over it, because if you're just slightly too low or you have too much momentum, every time I just fired off that hold, like I had a lot of times where it felt like I was about to stick it, but I did the movement just slightly wrong and it just doesn't work. I'm not entirely sure what the exact key for it was, but basically you had to hit the hold kind of in the right place, either with the 4 fingers or 3 fingers super well, like I did on this attempt.
Then you throw this right foot up into another heel?
Yeah, this heel is not so bad. It's like, it was quite easy to pop off. It's on the, you put the heel on the first right hand start hold, so it's quite a big edge for the heel, but it is quite sloping. It's not amazing, but this is for sure the easiest move. And this beta,
and what's the fan on, by the way? You've got a fan on the boulder, to your right there. Which hold is that focused on?
That is focused on the second hold. So where my right hand currently is on the video, that's where so you do the first move to that hold, that's what the fan's blowing on.
Got it.
Because as I was saying, like they're basically like no friction edges. It's really weird because you have like the left side of the boulder super frictiony and the right hand holds are like kind of glassy. So getting like perfect conditions on that was key. I've got like some savage videos, to be fair, where I kind of like stick the second move, that big left hand move, for like half a second, and then both hands just like fire off, and that would happen quite a lot where the right would like fire first, just because it's, I don't know, really bad. So yeah, the fan helped a lot for that. Kind of sucked carrying it up with a big battery up the hill, but got to be done. But yeah, that heel was okay. It's funny because I had to use this shoe for the first heel, because I find the shoe that I'm in is like the 510 Naiad, and it's got like a really good lip for the sort of super techie bad first heel. But actually, because it's got like the ball heel, it made this second heel a little more like, I found I had to pull a bit harder on my leg, which was a bit scary because I didn't want it to like rip, and then I would take like a bit of a fall, but it worked pretty well, to be fair. And yeah, you bump into this absolutely appalling undercut. Like undercut, this is the thing. When I saw this boulder originally, when Aiden was showing me, I was like, oh, it's all like right, like techie heels, and then like, you get this undercut and you just have to do a hard move with the undercut. I was like, that sounds like perfectly my boulder. And I think it is actually pretty much like my perfect style, but that undercut shocked me at how bad it was, and it took me was it 5 days? Yeah, it was 5 days to be able to actually like use the undercut enough to do that last move just individually. Even with
Wow.
people like pushing me onto the wall for like power spots, I just could never, like, it felt so hard to make it work. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's not like a in-cut undercut, it's like a flat edge. So it's about compression between that and the left hand crimp. You can't just like grab it from underneath and then pull in. Like you're pulling straight up into the wall. And yeah, it's probably somewhere around that sort of like, I don't know, 6-8 mil edge. But like for free fingers, and the pinky kind of just squeezes in there at the edge.
Yeah, well, and you have to hold it for quite some time because you do a couple foot adjustments and then you're setting yourself up for just like this kind of finishing jump.
Yeah, so yeah, when you can off the heel, when you're pulling hard and the heel feels good, you can have a bit of time to hit it, wiggle your fingers a bit right, full crimp in, and then yeah, you're just like, so already you're on it for like a second or two, and then yeah, you have to do a quite a tensiony footwalk where you put your right onto an okay, small but okay edge, left foot comes up quite high to a hold that you want to like hold a lot more tension than I was able to on, and you then just go absolutely full out and slap for the lip of the boulder. But there's two ways of doing it. Same feet, same body position, everything. Aiden did it slightly differently, where he did a slightly less powerful version, and instead of slapping the part of the lip that I got, which is quite good, he goes slightly lower to an okay part. It's nowhere near as good, but it's like there is a hold there and it's a bit more slopey. So you do like a slightly less powerful move, but then you actually have like a much harder position to hold, and then he
Right.
bumped again to where I was, whereas I did this bigger, more like dynamic move to the better part of the lip, which meant the move itself was really hard to actually do from the start, like having enough power to actually commit and do this sort of jump. But the goal where I sent and I actually managed to just hit the hold, I stayed on, which was really nice.
Right.
So
Yeah, and then once you get this, it's not over, but you're nearly there, huh?
yeah, you'd be super unlucky to fall from that position. The left hand's got like a bit of an edge on the lip, so you feel like quite locked in. And then yeah, you just walk the feet a little, jump to this right hand, like right hand to the top of the boulder again, but where the boulder basically flattens out on the lip, and it's not like a mega jug, but it's like completely flat. Like you wouldn't come off from there, and the mantle's pretty chill. Um,
What about the one arm hang, questioning if what just happened actually happened? You're like,
yeah,
for
yeah.
those who aren't looking at the video, Will is on the last hold with his right hand and just drops the left hand and turns to the camera and is like, "What just happened?" As you're just dangling here. You haven't even topped the thing out yet. My God, man, that's making me nervous just watching.
Yeah, to be honest, it makes me nervous watching it back too. I don't know, I was just completely shocked. Like I was in disbelief at that moment.
Hey, if you like this video, check out these here because they are banger, and also subscribe to the channel because I put out a fresh video every single week with one of the best rock climbers in the world. Let's go.